Hello, everyone. Welcome to this interesting story about the drum of friendship. They say in Omonese village, the talking drum remembers every secret. And if you listen closely, it will tell you how two friends, one humble and one full of pride, learned a lesson they will never forget. Long ago in the peaceful village of Omonese, where red dust glowed under the morning sun, life moved with laughter and song. Children played in the open fields, women pounded yam, and men shared stories under the wide mango trees. It was in this village that two friends, Obi and Eze, were known as brothers, born from different mothers. As boys, Obi and Eze fetched water from the same stream, carrying calabashes on their heads and joy in their hearts. They ran barefoot through the grass, shouting each other's names and racing the wind. Everyone said, if you see Obi, you will also see Eze. Years passed. The boys became men with wives and children. Their houses stood close, their laughter still loud. Obi was calm and thoughtful. He spoke softly and worked hard. Eze, on the other hand, was bold and restless. He liked to be seen, to be heard, and to be praised. One rainy night, when Eze's roof began to leak, Obi ran through the storm without a word. He climbed the ladder, holding palm leaves and rope and saying, don't worry, my brother, we'll fix it together. That was the kind of friend Obi was, steady as the morning sun. When Eze's children were sent home for unpaid fees, Obi gave his wife some money in secret. Take it, he said softly. No one needs to know. Pride can only be heavy. He never spoke about it again. But the villagers whispered. They said, Eze talks too much. He boasts too much. And poor Obi keeps covering for him. Still, Obi smiled and said, a friend is like a mirror. You don't throw it away because of one crack. One bright market day, the square was alive with trading and talk. Eze stood in the center, his wrapper tied proudly, cowries shining on his neck. He laughed loudly and said, look around. Who works harder than me? Who speaks better than me? Even the chief listens when I talk. The crowd murmured, some in agreement, some in silence. But Eze did not stop. He raised his voice higher. People think Obi is the wise one, but wisdom without boldness is like soup without salt. Some laughed uneasily, others shook their heads. Eze enjoyed the attention, stretching his hands wide as if blessing himself. He pointed at his chest and said, if greatness had a face, this will be it. Behind the crowd, Obi stood quietly under a palm tree. His smile gentle, but his heart heavy. He knew that pride grows fast, but it never stands for long. While Eze laughed and boasted, Obi just sat quietly, plucking grass and humming an old song. The wind cannot break a tree that has deep roots, he whispered. He believed in peace more than praise. Later that week, Obi met Eze under a mango tree. My brother, he said softly, your words are like fire. They are warm, but they can also burn. Eze frowned, his eyes flashed, and he stood up suddenly. So now you think you're better than me? You and your quiet ways, he shouted. His voice echoed across the field. Obi lowered his head, saying nothing. That day, a wall rose between them, built from pride and misunderstanding. As the, at the next market day, they passed each other without a word. The same people who once called them brothers now whispered behind their backs. Even the closest friends can fall apart when pride walks in, someone said. Weeks later, Obi received the Village Green Award for honesty and service. The square filled with clapping hands, except Eze's. He stood in the crowd, his face tight, his heart battling between jealousy and regret. One terrible night, thunder cracked across the sky. Eze's roof fell apart. Rain poured into his house. He ran from door to door knocking, shouting, but everyone closed their doors. Please help me, he cried, his voice lost in the rain. The same people he once mocked stayed silent behind their doors. Eze fell to his knees, soaked and shivering, his pride melting like clay in water. Then, through the storm, a lantern flickered in the dark. It was Obi walking towards him with a mat and dry firewood. Come, my friend, he said gently. My home still has space. Eze's tears flowed freely, mixing with the rain. Eze knelt and held Obi's hands. I was blind, Obi. I spoke too much and loved too little. Obi smiled, pulling him up. A true friend never closes his door. And that night, both men laughed again like boys at the stream. At sunrise, they rebuilt the roof together. Obi passed the palm leaves, Eze tied them with care. The whole village watched and learned. That evening, Eze sat by the fire with young men of the village. Listen, he said, resting his hand on the talking drum. If you find a friend who stands by you in silence, gird him like your father's drum. For when the festival comes, it is the quiet drum that gives the sweetest sound. As the sun set, Obi and Eze walked down the dusty road together. Their children ran ahead, and their wives followed behind, smiling. The golden light wrapped them in peace. And as the sun sank behind the palm trees, the drum of friendship spoke softly. Pride builds walls, but kindness builds bridges. The rhythm echoed through the land, a reminder that true friendship never dies. It only waits for the heart to listen again. If you enjoyed this short story, remember, share it with a friend and let the drum of friendship beat again in your heart. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories from the heart of Africa. Thank you.